No reason to ask if you guys are going live today. Just kind of like the same, Mitch, you going live at halftime of a primetime game? It's like no such thing as a stupid question. Whoever came up with that, they apparently don't know what the hell they're talking about. But anyways, we're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We give out tons of free picks. You guys can see the YouTube channel. I light it up with videos every single day. And then, of course, on this show, we go over the card again with our crew. Of course, we are one light today as Rod Zawacki catches the power outage. That's what you get for living in the middle of nowhere. But, I live in an island in the middle of the ocean, too. So I totally sympathize with them in that respect. But we still got Bittler and Chris Ruffalo with us today. Of course, Chris. Oh, I get the wrong button. We got, of course, Chris just 2 days removed from a battle with the meat sweats. It was nip and tuck there for a while, but he's back. And you know what? I think I'm proud of Chris that he's kind of taken that stand where he's going to be the poster child and kind of just go out there and say, we can beat this thing. And how's the GoFundMe page coming along for the Beat the Meat Sweats campaign? And any truth to the rumor that with every donation they'll be getting a "Fuck the Meat Sweat" shirt?
There is some truth to it. I did get a generous donation from Omaha Steaks, which was a little bit weird, but I'll take whatever I can get at this point. And meat sweat's one of the more underlying problems in the world today. But I'm just glad I could come out on the other side.
Fuck the meat sweats, man. Anyways, Brian, good day yesterday. Me and you were on the opposite side of one game, and pushed. So that was the Notre Dame-Ohio State game. Oddly enough, we both went, I believe, 1-0-1 in the Big Ten ACC games. I had the ACC, and you had a Big Ten. And we both went 1-0-1 in those. What do you got in store for today?
Well, college basketball, bounced back yesterday 2-0-1. Last 710 college basketball picks, I'm hitting 56%, over 43,000 in profit. So get my pure profit 3-pack in college basketball, $50. Gets you all 3 college basketball premiums today at pickdogs.com, premium picks.
$50?
$50.
$50. Chris, what do you got?
Well, for me today, it's Whale Bet Wednesday. Coming off a profitable Tuesday yesterday, and then we're going to go with 5 of my biggest and best bets for today. Got them over for $30 over at the website. I'm really loving those plays today. I'm going to pull out some more winners and hopefully sweep the board today.
I believe Rod has a hump day birdcage out there as well for 3 picks. I just have 3 picks out there. I might be adding 2 for those of you that have longer term packages or something. I'm still looking at a couple games. What happens is, so here's why I would have 2 late entries, is that the lines come out they come out pretty early in the day now for college basketball the next day. But what's happening is that we're not seeing the real action on these lines until the next morning, until like right when we're on the air. So basically, I want to let some of this shake out. Like yesterday, I gave out Notre Dame as one of my premium picks. I gave it out at 5, but the line I could have gotten 6 all day on that game. So I want to make sure that I get the correct lines in there as well. So hopefully everybody won on that pick that got it from me. I would imagine you did. The bulk of the people that got that won. But for me, it counted as a push. But we've got a good card today. And, we've lost one of the feature games in Michigan State against Virginia. Big Ten dominating this series so far in the first day, after the first day. But I think it doesn't mean much. But
I think you jinxed them yesterday.
I don't think I jinxed them. I think
you would get on Crowan after Miami came back and won.
Well, that was the one that I really cared about the most, and also the one that I had as the premium pick. But the thing is that I just think that I don't know. It will all play out. It will all play out. Duke looks a little raw. I gave out Illinois in that game. The one that really surprised me was the Penn State Virginia Tech, and also Syracuse Rutgers. Syracuse was right there the whole game, and this is not a good Rutgers team. Not great. Not as good as they're billed to be. Also, I mean, North Carolina reeled in Iowa and then let it go as well. They had that one. They had them dead to rights. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, and it will all play out over the course of the season. No one wins a national championship in December, that's for sure. But we do have Campbell versus New Orleans, Loyola, Illinois against Chicago State. Got Bryant back-to-back days up against St. Francis of Brooklyn. Fairly disinterested against Central Connecticut State. Wisconsin against Rhode Island, a 4:30 p.m. start. Cincinnati against Furman. Oh, we'll stop there. We'll stop at the Rhode Island game. There's 5 games there. Brian, any meat on the bone on those 5?
They're kind of leaning towards Wisconsin. I think they come back and make amends for their clunker the last time out. And I like Rhode Island, and there's a lot of points, but the line just looks funny to me. I'm going to go with the Badgers here.
You still like it at 11, even though it was at 9.5?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're going to scare me. I wouldn't like it as much if it was 9.5 Wisconsin. I like it more at 11. Call me weird, but that's
no. I get it. Yeah, Oklahoma Xavier line has just inverted. And Oklahoma, I'm showing now favored at some books, and I'm showing zeros at some books. The line's flat out inverted in the last 15 minutes. I think we're going to see that with a lot of games. Brian and I was talking to Brian online this morning. We were just chatting, and it was just like, I could just see it on a lot of these games that this was going to happen. Late movement. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Chris, you see anything here?
Yeah, I like Bryant. I know it's hard to beat the same team on back-to-back days, but Bryant just was really good against St. Francis yesterday, so I'll take Bryant there. I'm going to lean towards Rhode Island. Just 11 just does seem like a lot for me. I know Wisconsin's a tough place to go on the road, but lack of fans. And I think Rhode Island has enough of a scoring punch that they can keep this one within single digits. So I'll take Rhode Island.
I'm torn on that Rhode Island-Wisconsin game. I really like Fats. He's one of my favorite players. Reminds me of, John Morant style guy. So I'm going to lay off that game. I think that because Wisconsin, they don't really have like that superstar guy, It's like they have some nice players, but they don't have a guy like that. And a guy like that will beat you. Yeah, I'm seeing Oklahoma -1 now, moving hard and heavy across the board here. Big money coming in on Oklahoma right now. Yeah, I don't love this early card, to be honest with you, and I'm probably going to pass on the early games. I know it's not what you guys show up to see. Maybe if you hit the like button a few more times, I'd be. No, I'm just kidding. I just really don't like these games. I'm not going to. I mean, there's a whole card of games out here to jump on. So no reason to jump on this one. You got Cincinnati -3.5 against Furman. I think this is the bargain of the day. Got TCU against Providence, Maryland against Clemson, Western Illinois against Miami of Ohio, Toledo against Michigan, Moorhead, well, that one doesn't have a line, Richmond against Northern Iowa, VC, we'll stop there. Brian, anything there in those games? Just some pretty big names out there.
Out of that group, I like Providence. I just think they're the better team, and you're getting some value there, slightly plus money. So I think the Friars pull it out against TCU.
Anything else?
That's it.
Chris?
I like Maryland against Clemson. I just, even at 2, I think we're getting a free bucket with the better team. So like even with the big town on the road, I like Maryland. I like Providence as well. again, in another situation, I just think we're getting free points with the better team, so I'll take Providence as well.
I like Furman on the money line here against Cincinnati. I just think that the Paladins can hit those shots from the outside, and when you hit those kind of shots the way that they have that kind of game with strong guard play, you always have a chance of beating the bigger, better teams on the road. And Furman is not a novelty act anymore. This is a school that can certainly play. And they've been a team that can play. It's amazing that you have a 2,700 student school that plays with the big boys in almost every sport. It was a while ago, but they beat some ACC teams in football even. But I think the Paladins here in Cincinnati, and especially the Bearcats coming off of that loss against Xavier. And I think, that's probably a lot of what has to do with that Oklahoma line is people are realizing that Cincinnati-Xavier game is a game that just takes the wind out of your sails. It's like, both those teams just leave it all out on the court in that one. And it'll be interesting to see what Cincinnati has in the tank and as far as their confidence losing at home to Xavier. I also like Clemson a ton here. I think that Maryland is a good team, but when you lose two guys like they lost from last year, and Clemson is a team who I think is moving upward, in the grand scheme of things. Clemson's a team that's greatly improved. While Maryland, I think, is a good team, a tournament team, and a team that maybe later on in the season I would have a lot more confidence in them. I just think that right now, I like them against Old Dominion. I don't like them so much on the road in Death Valley. I think that Western Illinois is certainly one to watch here against Miami of Ohio. It's a lot of points for this game, so I like that time slot a lot. We go to the. Did we do this? We included the 6 o'clocks, or we did not?
Yeah, no, we did.
All right, we did not. So Michigan, Toledo, Richmond, Northern Iowa. We've got VCU against North Carolina A&T, who also plays every day. They've played 7 games. The season started about a week ago. We've got Bellarmine, who I don't know. These guys kind of came out of nowhere. These are like the new Presbyterian, right? Who all of a sudden was playing everybody. Bellarmine, it might even be the same school for all I know. Bellarmine +4 against Chattanooga, the Mocs. Got Louisiana Monroe against Lamar. We got Valpo against SIU Edwardsville. Texas Tech, Abilene Christian. Let's just stop there, even though there's more 7s. It's just there's too many games there. So let's just stop there. Anything in that grouping, Brian?
Yeah, I kind of like SIU Edwardsville. I think that's just way too many points for Valpo to lay. I know the team lost to Omaha, a team that's been sticking me early, but I like SIU Edwardsville plus the points.
Chris?
I like Chattanooga against Bellarmine. Chattanooga's playing really well right now, and Bellarmine, we need to see more from it. They're just coming up from Division II, I think it was. So I'll lay the points with Chattanooga here. I like Abilene Christian getting the points against Texas Tech. It just seems like too many points on Texas Tech's the better team, the more name-recognized team, but Abilene Christian's been playing well, 4-0 against the spread this season, playing really good defense. They've been playing some pretty good schools as well, so take the points with the Wildcats there.
I like Richmond here, even with the dropping line. The dropping line makes me like it more, because Northern Iowa has played in a bunch of close games, but they haven't been inside the number in any of them, which is crazy, right? So it's like it seems like the books have the line, or the bettors have the line, or somebody does against Northern Iowa. While Richmond, I think the win against Kentucky, is downplayed now, but I don't think so. I think you beat Kentucky by plenty. I think you could beat Northern Iowa by plenty at home. I like VCU against North Carolina AT&T. I know 21 is a ton of points, but if you've played 7 games in this amount of time that A&T has played it. North Carolina A&T. North Carolina A&T. NC A&T. At the amount of games that they've played in this short amount of time, and now you're up against that press defense. Probably not going to be a good second half for them. Hopefully we're able to grab a second half line on a lot of those long rotation numbers. We're not able to do it, but this is one, you guys know I love my halftimes, right? I mean, I love my halftimes, and this is one where I would imagine the second half is going to be very miserable for these guys, because that's when VCU also seems to turn it up a notch. I'm with Brian on SIU Edwardsville as well. Of course, I like Abilene Christian. I believe that was part of my Pick Dogs parlay, which I think we hit again yesterday. Those have been hot. I think we've hit like 6 of the last 8 of those or something. Got Charleston against Marshall. Eastern Illinois against Evansville. We've got Cal State Bakersfield against Arizona. I think that's an interesting game. We've got Arkansas State against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Take off the gloves for that one. Hofstra against Stony Brook. Florida State, Indiana. Nebraska, Georgia Tech. Big inverted line. Big line move in that game. Louisiana Tech against Southeastern Louisiana. That's good. Brian, any of those? I like a lot of
Hold your pants on. I got 2 SEC. Yeah. I got 2 ACC teams there. I like Georgia Tech over Nebraska. I think there's no letdown after beating Kentucky. And then I like Florida State to crush Indiana. I'm not sold on the Hoosiers yet. So, yeah, and Texas State over Texas.
We didn't get to that one. We're not at that game, but let's talk about this line move real quickly in this Nebraska Georgia Tech game. Nebraska overnight was -1. You know, when the line came out, and then I did my video, and now they're +2.5. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. People are going, your ego's so big, you think you move that line. It's like, no, I didn't move that line. I mean, I might have put a couple bucks that helped the cause, but I don't think I personally moved the line. What do you think of this line move, Brian? Sorry for cutting you off there.
No, I had it written down at -2 this morning, Nebraska, and I kind of was liking them. Then I looked at it more, and it's just Georgia Tech seemed like the play. So, and it looks like the line's supporting what I was thinking this morning. So, got to go with Georgia Tech.
45% of the tickets, only 52% of the money.
Yeah, so the smaller guys are liking Nebraska in this one.
Yeah, but only 52% of the money has moved this line 3.5 points through 0.
Yeah,
somebody really likes Georgia Tech. That's not part of our sample. I mean, that's really what that means. That's the only way that could happen.
Yeah, I got to add Georgia Tech in there somewhere in my betting today.
Brian's like, 3.5 points through 0. It's like, maybe the data is gonna. Maybe that part of the data is lagging. Oklahoma.
Yeah, my sample's only like 570. But.
Yeah, it's too small right now to show it. But everything, and just like yesterday, I think it's the Vegas books that are, the Cirque and Westgate that open a little later. And, of course, in Vegas, you can't use your apps overnight. It's not like the offshore books. Fucking meat sweats. Ruffalo, who do you like in this? Time slot?
Sorry, I was thinking of pork chops. I like Marshall here. I just think Charleston's still trying to.
Always higher than everyone else's. I don't know what that means. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I like Marshall. I just think Charleston's still trying to recover from losing Grant Riller. He was like the guy on that team, the scorer. So I think Marshall's going to come in and bust him up here. I like Georgia Tech as well. I think the Nebraska bettors are thinking that maybe Georgia Tech has a bit of a letdown after that win against Kentucky, but I like Georgia Tech's size inside. I think they're going to bruise Nebraska inside, and I think Georgia Tech's going to come out with a win here and win and cover. Now I'm with you guys on the line movement as well. Yeah, I think that's all I like for this time slot.
I like Florida State a lot against Indiana. I like Cal State Bakersfield against Arizona. I think Cal State Bakersfield might be a team to watch. We've seen them in the tournament, in previous years where they've beaten good teams, and they've certainly taken good teams to the mat, and they might not even going out the door, they might not have won the battle, but they won the battle that we cared about, right? So that's what's most important to me. So I love teams with odd nicknames, and they generally get disregarded, by the general betting public. But the thing about Cal State Bakersfield here that you have to remember, or you have to take into account if you don't remember, if you don't know, Cal State Bakersfield has moved up in conference this year to the West Coast Conference, and that's why they're in the 3 rotation number games now. It's not a 5 rotation number game like they would normally be. So now this is a team that's going to be regular. We're going to see it all the time. And so the thing about Bakersfield also is like a lot of times when you see teams move up, it's kind of like, well, they had this really good team and then they lost their players. So now when they move up, they don't have anybody. It was like when TCU joined the Big 12. It's like they let them in the year after like all the really good players were gone, And it's like they had to rebuild things. But that's not the case with Bakersfield. They returned all 5 starters from last year, including the Conference Player of the Year. These guys can play. And Arizona, while Sean Miller, we could talk about Rick Pitino's recruiting, but Sean Miller knows how to work the phones. I mean, help is just a phone call away, right? And the thing is that he's changed the style of Arizona. So we're seeing a lot of style changes from coaches. Like Jim Boeheim's now a runner, right? He's like a running gunner, It's like he used to be this boring, right? But now he's a running gunner. And meanwhile, Arizona, who was a running gunner, is now the opposite. They're a guard pass it around the perimeter team, like Sean Miller had at Xavier. So Arizona, you're not going to probably see them put up, these 80, 90-point games anymore. And here against a team like Bakersfield who can shoot, giving up, well, it's now down to 16.5 from 18. Once again, in my video, I had it at 18. Bakersfield's one that I seriously considered for a premium pick and did not put it in. So that's my thought process. I know a lot of times people say I talk too much, but other times people say, man, I like to hear your thought process. So that was it on that one. Has nothing to do with line movement or anything like that, just actual handicapping the game, which I do both. You guys hear me. Got Lipscomb back in action again. This is another team that plays every single night. Lipscomb against Southeast Missouri State. Didn't even know there was a game. Xavier versus Oklahoma. The line has flopped on this game as well in a big way. Another big move through 0 on this game. Utah Valley against Southern Utah. That sounds like it could get nasty. Got Tulane against Southern Miss. Once again, these teams play each other in football, I think, every other week, right? It's like you look at the football schedule, it's like, who's Southern Miss playing? Tulane, right? It's like, it just seems like these teams play all the time. It's kind of, it's just one of the things. It's like Southern against Arkansas, no line out on this one. Texas against Texas State. We already heard from Brian on this one, but he'll give it again. And then a game that I'm super interested in seeing is the Stephen F. Austin against Baylor. I think this one's going to be a gem. I really think that this could be the game of the day. Brian, who do you like in this time slot?
Texas State in the in-state rival game, a lot of points. Oklahoma, I think Xavier coming off that Cincinnati win suffers a little bit of a letdown here, so I'm going to take Oklahoma. Those are the two I like the best there.
I think my initial lean was towards Xavier. I think that's where I'm going to stay. I think Xavier's. I know that Cincinnati game takes a lot out of you, especially after rallying to get that win. But I think I just like them a little bit better. I don't think Oklahoma plays a ton of defense, and I think Xavier might come in and get the job done. So I'll take Xavier. I like the under in the Texas State-Texas game. I think there's going to be a ton of defense here. This could be a game where like first to 60, 65 wins, and I think it's going to stay well under that 132. Those are my two for this time slot.
I like Texas State against Texas. I think this Stephen F. Austin game against Baylor could be the game of the day. I think that Stephen F. last year beat Duke by a deuce, and they beat him at Duke. And we see sometimes, that these smaller schools and these big dogs go in and beat the big boys. Last year was Evansville also against Kentucky. But the difference between the Evansville win at Kentucky and even the TCU win at home against Baylor, I mean, the difference between those is that, Evansville fell off the map after that. They were absolutely nowhere. It wasn't like, this is a good team and they beat them. It was just like they totally looked past them, and it's like these are Division I college basketball players. That's what happened in that game. Not the case with Stephen F. Stephen F. went on a roll of rolls and said, we are a legitimate program. 28-3 last year. Rung it up. These guys were qualified for the dance. They were in. They were already in. They weren't going to be a 16 either. What do you think? They're going to get another crack at Duke in the first round? You think Coach K is going to let that? It's like, these guys already beat us. I don't want any part of them. It's like, it is one to watch. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to beat Baylor. I'm saying that they might not even cover. But no matter what happens in this game, because Stephen F. returns a ton from that team last year. No matter what happens in this one, they're going to go down. If they're going to go down, they're going to go down swinging, because this team can absolutely play, and they're not afraid of anybody. They're not afraid of Baylor. Not one bit. And I love Baylor. You guys know that, right? Baylor was my team last year. I picked them to win it all, and I believe that they would have. Yep, I like that, and I like Texas State. I love that defense. I think there's going to be I love the under 132 in the Texas State game, too. Texas State, I think, allows the lowest shooting percentage against, right? Isn't that what they're thinking? There's a few real press teams out there, but Texas State, I think, actually is the one that allows the lowest. It is the toughest bucket in college hoops is against Texas State. What do they allow? What are they this year? They're definitely one of those teams, though. So Texas State defense, they're allowing 63 points a game. So maybe not as epic as I make them out to be, but still pretty solid. Love college hoops, man. A lot of ground to cover, It's like this is where having a really, really sharp memory helps. Is this sport. Liberty against Mizzou. See if Brian's back on the Flames. Got Boise, a team that I'm really high on this season, against BYU. Cal Poly against Santa Clara. San Diego against UCLA. Washington State against Idaho, who could be the worst team in the country. They could be the absolute worst. I believe Idaho's got a shot at absolute worst. Wyoming against Denver. Pepperdine against Cal. Any of these? Brian?
Yeah, for me, I think Boise State, any points you're getting here is a gift. I could see them easily beating BYU outright. And I'll lay the points with Washington State here. I see it coming down a couple points. People all over Idaho for some reason, so I'm going to go small on Washington. On the Cougars, because I like me a Cougar. Or Cougars.
Just couldn't leave that one alone.
Now money just came in on Xavier. Back to pick him. This one is violent line movement. It's back and forth. Chris?
Yeah, I was going to do that Liberty Missouri game, but I'm flipping back and forth on it now, so I'm staying away from that. But I'm with you guys. I like Boise State as well. This is just a 2-point game, if anything. So I like Boise State with the points. I like Washington State as well. a little bit weary because last time I took Washington State against Idaho, I think Idaho won. That came out right and comfortably, but I'll still take the Cougars here. And I like Wyoming laying the 13 against Denver. Denver's up there for me as another team that's one of the worst in the country, and Wyoming's actually getting some balanced scoring. Are we doing the 11 o'clock games as well?
Yeah, these are. We went through to. No, we'll do those separate. There's only 3.
Okay. Then yeah, that's all I like for this time slot.
I like San Diego against UCLA. I think 100% of the public is on UCLA in this game. And I like San Diego. I just like what they're doing as far as recruiting. They just said, you know what, we're just not going to recruit any high school kids at all. JUCO transfers? No, we're not going to do that either. We're only taking kids out of the transfer portal, and that's it. It's like, okay. Actually, they have Rick Pitino's last recruit at Louisville on their roster, too. Guy who's a real attitude problem, too. Injury guy, attitude, I believe, is a little bit of both. But this guy can just flat out play. They got all their players. They lost every player from last year's team. They had 0 incoming freshmen. Everybody came through the transfer portal. This is their first game of the season, so we're going to see how this works. It's like, if there's someone it's going to work against, it's Mick Cronin. That's the guy. I'm going to take Washington State on a pure fade of Idaho, which I plan on doing often this season. Boise, I like on the money line. I'm with Brian there. I think Boise, I've said it, and every time I think this is a team to watch out for. They're not going to win every game, but certainly a team to watch out for. Who did they lose to? Houston, right, is the game they lost? So there's no shame in that. There's no shame in losing to Houston. Liberty against Missouri is going to just be, I like Liberty better at double digits than I do at 9.5. That's for sure. And I'm not saying I don't like the line movement. I'm saying I like the number better there. I don't think it's going to come down much more than that. I think if anything, you'll have a better chance to get it at 10. I like Pepperdine a little bit, but I don't like the line movement in that game. But I like Pepperdine.
Good old Peppy.
They played well. They had San Diego State and UCLA dead to rights. Both those teams. Both their losses, they were up big. They were up huge against San Diego State. They were up 14, 16 points. They were up like 16 at the half. They were up double digits with 4 minutes left to play and lost by 5. If you can do that with San Diego State, you sure as hell can beat Cal. It's just a matter of by how many, because we know they're going to fold coming down the stretch. So it's like, how big is the lead going to have to be to keep it outside the number? Not a place I'm rushing to put my money, that's for sure. I miss Rod. Where is he? The hell's Rod? It's not the same without him.
Yes, I'm definitely adding Georgia Tech after the show as a premium pick if I can get it in. I like Georgia Tech. I'm going to bet them big. I like it.
Maybe we'll have to add a GoFundMe for free Rod. Free him.
I wonder if he has a wood-burning stove where in case you lose electric, you still have the heat. I don't know. I'd be worried living in that environment.
I think we send Ruffalo over there with the rabbit ears with the tinfoil on it, It's like...
No, I'll catch a cold with the meat sweats. I can't be outside with the meat sweats.
We're going to beat those meat sweats. We're going to beat them. We're going to wipe them off the face of this earth.
We'll eliminate the meat sweats.
Yes. We're all in this together. Pitt against Northwestern, Washington, Seattle, Oregon, FAMU. Brian, any of those 3?
I think now's the time if you want to get in on Washington. Now's the time to bet it because a lot of early action pushed that Seattle line down to where it's bettable for the Huskies. So slightly into Washington there. Nothing big.
Yeah, it's a weird line here because Washington, the suck factor is certainly there, but it's a justifiable suck because of the schedule that they've played. We know they suck. Right, because they're another team last year that pulled the big upset early in the season and then fell off the face of the map. They beat Baylor, right, early in the season last year. It was like Baylor only had one loss, like going into that TCU game. Baylor only lost twice last year, right? So they lost that one to TCU, and they lost to Washington early in the season, and then Washington just fell off the map. And then when you look at who Washington has lost to, though, now it looks, it's like they've dressed up their crappiness by losing to Baylor 86-52 in the payback game. Then they lost to Riverside by 15, which, I mean, if you're a 10-point favorite in Washington, that can happen. And then you've got there were 7.5-point dogs against Utah and got rung up, which, I mean, everyone gets rung up in Utah. Utah is one of those teams. They're like 11-1 at home and 1-11 on the road, right? It's so, I mean, that can happen there. So I think it's kind of tough to say here. It's a tough one for me, but I would take Seattle just on a pure Washington fade. Kind of like the way people play my picks sometimes, at least the trolls do. I'm fading this guy. This guy never wins. I love the YouTube comments. Like, I played 2 of your picks and they both lost. It's like, if you play 2, if I give out 35 picks and you pick 2 of them to play, isn't that playing your picks? I don't know. Just throwing it out there. It's like, anyways.
Success is measured over a long period of picks. Like my college basketball, 710 picks.
How about the, Chris, how about all the huge amount of emails that I get from people that are huge fans of us, right? Huge fans of the show, huge fans of the site. But then they want to be a capper. And they're like, I didn't know about the contest. What's up with that? It's like, how big of a fan can you be? You know, and then,
we and even then we only advertised it every day for like 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We advertise it like crazy. To me, it's like, so once in a while there's a wording on a pick, you know, or something on a promotion on a pick, and people think, oh man, I thought I was getting 15 picks, and it's 15-star pick. You know, if they get one, right? It happens, right? And it's misworded, and it's like people, they don't understand what they're getting. I walk people through it, you know, through how to do the system and stuff. When you guys contact support, I'd say these days, 90% of the time you're getting me. So, I walk people through it, and so I get the feeling for what's going out there. But and to me, it's always like, well, if 700 people, can get it, and one can't, well, then that's not on us. That's on the one, If it's the other way around, then hey, it's on us, People used to always say to me, do you guys sell picks? And I'm like, man, probably not doing something right. It's like, and I heard it a lot. Anyways, gonna wrap it up. Chris, anything else you want to say to Rod or anyone else outside of your parlay? It's your time. You want to talk about the leaderboard real quick?
Yeah, I think we're going to have another updated leaderboard, I believe, tonight. Hopefully Rod is back up and running. If not, we'll make sure it gets taken care of, and we'll have another leaderboard update for you guys on the drive-through. Got a loaded show tonight. 8 cappers, myself, Tony T, Ron Romanelli. Hopefully Rod's going to be there. Joe Duffy, Joe D'Amico, the 2 Joey D's. You got Ann, for everyone who's asking where Ann is. She's going to be on the drive-through tonight. And as well as Al Ninos. And we're going to open up another door on the advent calendar, so it's going to be a great show tonight. But I think for my parlay, I'm going to go with Bryant laying the points, Abilene Christian plus the points, and Chattanooga laying the points.
Ryan, how about you?
I'm going to go Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Boise State parlayed for $100.
Maybe we should also do like a last-minute pitch of our what we have for sale, like at the end. Maybe we should add that now, because like at the beginning of the show when we do it, it's kind of like when we have our lightest audience of the day. Now it's like
make sure you check out my 3-pack college basketball pure profit. I'm going to see if I can continue my good long-term run.
Most people brag about their 6-pack. Brian brags about his 3-pack. Chris. How's your keg over there?
I was going to say, I do not have a 6-pack, but I do have a 5-pack up for sale over at the website. About Wednesday, my 5 biggest and best bets of the day. Easy for me to say. Over for $30, Pick Dogs Premium. And guys, like I said, tune into the drive-thru. There's going to be a bunch of great picks and a bunch of cappers on there. I'm going to have stuff as well some great deals for you guys.
Anyways, I said that I might be adding picks to my premiums for today. I won't be. So I think I'm going to stay pat. I've got 3 picks, 3 premium picks, and I feel comfortable. Rod says his power's still out. Here it is. Coffee didn't finish brewing, but he likes for his parlay. Here it is. Florida State -3.5. SIU Edwardsville +11 and Texas State +17.5. I like all of those picks. Those are Rod's.
Well, you like my 3-game parlay too.
Does this, Rod? We don't take back anything we said about you earlier either. We're gonna beat these meat sweats, Chris. We're gonna beat this thing. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't eat red meat, but I'm with you on the journey. I might not fully understand, but I'm with you on the journey.
I appreciate it. All the support I can get.
I like Furman on the money line. Gonna parlay it up with Boise on the money line and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, Furman money line, and Boise money line. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Of course, Brian and Chris will all be back tomorrow. Hopefully, Rod will make it. Hopefully, his power's on back then. If not, it's going to be a crappy day in Alberta. Anyways, Rod's going to be a treat to deal with if he doesn't have power for a couple of days or something. Yeah, you guys get the jovial Rod. Anyways, have a great day, everyone. And, of course, we'll try and act more professional tomorrow.